Wolf whistling will lead to 2-year prison sentence under new law changes. You know what this is going to do? This is just going to lead to men not interacting with women. Guys are no longer going to go up to women and show interest in them because that could be viewed as wolf whistling and lead to 2 years in prison. And then women are going to complain that they feel invisible. Anyone caught wolf whistling will be punished with a 2-year prison sentence under new government plans. The changes proposed by Home Secretary Suella Braverman is expected to create new street harassment laws, and it will mean that offenders cannot avoid prosecution by saying they didn't know their behavior was harassment, according to the Telegraph. Yeah, this is fine. This is just going to even further drive a wedge between men and women. And of course, women are going to be most affected as guys decide to put their safety first. So the bill will reportedly make wolf whistling an offense to cause intentional harassment, alarm, or distress to a person with a public space that could lead to a maximum of 2 years in prison. Yeah, and doesn't this actually also prove the point I've been harping on since the dawn of my channel? You notice that for all the claims by honestly, idiots, that feminism is just like a female version of MGTOW, or MGTOW is just the men's version of feminism. You notice men don't have or need any government power to force anything they want through. So MGTOW is just guys walking away. Guys have had enough and they're taking their ball and going home. That's what men do. Men take their ball and go home. Women scream until the government forces men to do things for them. That's what's happening here. So men are walking away, and then meanwhile, women are like, oh, the government needs to stop men from behaving in certain ways. So one of these things is just a natural response that individual men do on their own. The other is only enforceable via government violence. That's the difference between MGTOW and feminism. That's the difference between an actual grassroots awakening and an activist organization. Feminism is activism. MGTOW is just guys going home. Big difference. So it comes after recent calls from campaigns saying that there was a loophole in the proposal that would allow people to claim their behaviors are welcomed. But now the Home Secretary is planning to change the proposal in a bid to close the loophole, with offenders instead taking a reasonableness test, meaning the defendant should know their behavior was considered harassment. Oh, God. Yeah, we got that BS here in the U.S. It's called, in court, it's called the reasonable person standard. Like, your intentions don't matter. The actual results don't matter. All that matters is, would a reasonable person seeing this be able to come to this conclusion? And the one problem I'm sure all of you recognize is reasonable people are exceptionally rare. Everyone seems to think they are one, but few people are. So the new bill would see wolf whistling punished with a 2-year prison sentence. If the proposal were to go through, it would mean anyone who catcalls wolf whistles or makes sexual comments in passing that could be considered harassment will not be able to claim their actions were of joking or complimentary behavior. So pretty much all interaction between men and women is over now. And all these women are going to start complaining that, well, guys don't hit on me anymore. Yeah, you could have two guys. One guy is like Brad Pitt, and the other guy is, overweight, unemployed, not very attractive. They could say the same thing to the same woman, but just because of which guy it came from, it's harassment if it came from the guy that she's not interested in. But if she is interested in the guy, ooh, this makes my panties wet. Eventually, guys are just, they're not going to risk it. It's like, okay, do I think she's attracted to me? I'm not going to risk it. If I say something, if she doesn't like me, she'll call it harassment. So, whatever. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of women that are going to complain that they have to take initiative. Then it'll be just like the Bumble app. The same women that always tell men, oh, your fragile masculinity can't handle hearing no. Just learn to take no for an answer, you losers. and then they go on Bumble where women are the only ones allowed to ask, and then they get rejected by 100 men in a row and cry about it. Like, well, learn to take no for an answer, you loser. It's just a word. Deal with it. And we're going to see a lot more. Actually, even better, you're going to see women try to approach men first. And then men are like, nope, sorry, not dealing with you. If I want to get with a woman, I'm going to go with the other passport bros and find them overseas. I don't do this whole dating in my home country thing. It's almost like incest now. You don't date at home. A key person behind the bill, Labor MP Stella Creasy, said women and girls often get told you can't take a joke or it was just a compliment, because both of those are true when they object to being harassed. But without change, this public order law risks making that an actual defense to a criminal offense. In this day and age, most know better than to try and grope or harass a woman as a way of chatting her up, but not all do. Oh, soon, no, I just believe me, none of you are going to be getting attention from men after this. So no one should be able to evade accountability for such behavior by arguing that they thought it was reasonable to abuse someone because it was their way of trying to attract attention. It's good that the government has listened to the need to address this loophole. So you know what's going to happen? They're just going to import more cultural enrichment. Their whammons are going to be, they're finally going to experience what real harassment is. And the men aren't going to care. Like, sorry, you wanted this. And then there's always going to be a few cucks out there. Oh, you don't care what happens to your women? If she heard me referring to her as my woman, she'd sue me. So no, I don't care. These aren't our women. They've openly declared themselves enemies at this point. It's like, no, if I want a woman, I'll go overseas and get one. I'm sorry. All right, to make it work, it's vital the police and prosecutors are given the training to understand how serious public harassment is and to use this new law to ensure everyone can walk freely on our streets and public spaces without being abused. So ignore the grooming gangs that kidnap children and, groom them, you know how. Ignore them. Let's talk about the real problem: men hitting on women. We cannot allow this to stand.